Hello there everybody, Sam'sTrains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome back to another exciting live stream. Lovely to have you all back here again, and I can't wait to get on with this thing straight away. First of all though, I want to just start by saying a huge thank you to everybody last week. People were sending me birthday wishes, there were so many of you watching and commenting and getting involved. People sent super chats, people were asking questions. It was just absolutely fantastic. So thank you all so much for that. Today hopefully should be just as good, well if you thought it was good anyway. Hopefully today will be good as well. I've got something very exciting to do, something that I've not done for 2, maybe more years. Something pretty crazy. I'm going to try and go, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to try and go for the longest train that I've ever done on this channel before, which is pretty crazy, and it's a little bit scary for me as well because almost certainly it means there's going to be some derailment. So people have been going crazy in the super chat to start with, asking what's going to be running and how I'm going to do it. So I thought I would start off by just showing you. I'm not going to do it just yet, but I'll start off by showing you, and then we'll get on with the show and I'll talk about the stuff I want to talk about and you know, get started with things properly. But first of all, for those of you who can't bear to wait any longer, let's get started. So I'm just going to make sure everyone is actually, you know, that you can hear me for a start, because I don't want to be talking and no one can hear me. But yeah, I can see the levels going. So hello to everybody. I will check in with all of you guys straight away, well, in a little while. But anyway, here's what's going to happen. So the front of the mega train is just there in the back of the shot. The engine there is the V-Trains Class 37. It's an absolutely massive machine. Well, it's not that huge, I suppose. There are bigger locos, but it's one of my most powerful. And as you can see, it's coupled to ocean wagons, and the stream of wagons goes all the way around the curve there. They go all the way up Gordon's Hill. You can see the rest of the ocean wagons. There's some EWS ones. There's some other wagons. They go under the bridge. There's another loco there. You can see the warship there helping out. They also go underneath the bookcase, and you can't really see, but they go beyond there. So yeah, quite a lot of wagons, 3 locos running the whole thing. And in the past when I've done this, I've used coaches, which are of course kind of that long. But for this, I'm going to be using wagons, which are that long. So obviously to get the same kind of length of train, it's going to have to use 3 times as many wagons. And there are actually close to 80 on there today. So that's pretty crazy. So I'm going to be getting on with that later on. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. But first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to all of my super chats from last week. And I've even had quite a few super chats from this week already. I think there've been 3, so they've all disappeared from the chat, so I'm just going to load it up and thank the people who sent them already. So Andrew Keeley sent one. He just said no requests, keep doing what you're doing. So thank you, Andrew. Your support there is massively appreciated. Thank you so much. Lucad Hagman says, can I show the photo that he sent to me? Well, if you sent it to me over the last week, then yes, I should have it here in my pile and I will show that at some point. And Ollie Turf 26 sent me a super chat as well, so thank you very much to you guys. I see that Lee Molson has just sent one, and AJ Finley has just sent one as well, so thank you to you guys. Without you, I could keep doing this, but it would be a lot less simple. So thank you all for supporting me. Here are last week's super chats, and then it is quite a list. So a huge thank you to Jake Darling, Michael Aldred, Laserjet, The Ugly Duckman, 8-Bit Mega Blade, I seem to remember that name tricked me up last week as well, Trainfan28, Sparky107107, PKC7412, Charles Curtis also sent one, Nyrate Goel, who's changed his name, I think he was R2D2 versus Trains or something like that before, and a special shout out goes to Jonathan Acker, who's been asking me for ages for a shout out, so I will do that, and I know a lot of you guys in the chat are asking for a shout out as well, so I'll absolutely do that if I can. And Josh Murphy also deserves a shout out because it's his birthday today, and I've also just noticed that Harry's Life has sent me a Snapchat to say sing a song if you want. I would need more than that to sing a song, believe me. But anyway, all of those people who donated very, very kindly are all being entered to win this. This is a Bullman, of course, and whoever wins him will also get the certificate of authenticity. This Bullman is actually called bilious, and yes, it's spelt bilious in the context of vomiting. There are only 10 of these, so they're very limited edition. And if you want to send me a super chat, you too can get entered to win one of these, and I will draw a winner on the final episode, which is in 3 weeks' time. So yeah, if you want to send a super chat, I keep saying Snapchat actually, well I hope I haven't said it, but I keep saying it. There's a little $sign in the chat down there. Basically all that allows you to do is donate money to the channel. Obviously I would never ask that anybody donates any money if they can't afford to or obviously don't want to, but if you're looking for a way to support the channel, if you watch the channel quite a lot and you enjoy what I do over here, then that's a way you can support it if you want to, and you know that way I can keep making videos and keep going with what I do and hopefully keep you entertained. And thank you so much for all the other super chats that are coming in. Charles Curtis and Rob Humphreys, thank you very, very much. You're all very, very kind, and I do truly appreciate it. Honestly, it does go a long way. It really does. Anyway, I'm also doing another minor fundraiser for the channel today because you might remember these. These are some 40-foot containers that Hobby King sent to me very kindly to review, and there is a video on my channel of me reviewing them. They're super good quality actually. If you look on the ends, they've got loads of detail on there. Now, I've had them for well over 6 months, and I've always wanted to do something with them, but I never have. And to be honest, I'm kind of running out of space up here, so I've decided I'm going to sell them. I don't want to keep them anymore. They are brand new. They don't have boxes anymore, but I've never used them, so basically they're brand new, and they're on eBay right now. So I've included a link in the description to my eBay, so if you want to bid on them, they tend to go for about £8 each on eBay, and I've got 10 of these to sell all in one lot, and I think they're at something like £15. So it's a real bargain. So if you want a bargain, head on to eBay, click the link in the description, and if you want to help the channel, you can bid for these. And UK only, please. Don't bid if you're not in the UK. But if you want a bargain, that is something you can do. Thank you to all the other super chats. I've had a few more coming in. It's gone crazy today on the super chats, so thank you to everyone who sent them in. I'm just going to double check who else has sent them. Harry's Life sent one. Shining Time 4 sent one. Nirate Goel said one as well. So thank you all you guys. I hope I haven't missed anybody out, but always during the next stream I will go through everybody as well. Okay, so what do I want to talk about first? Okay, requests from last week. I do have a couple of requests left over from last week. So the first one was from TrainFan28. Hang on a minute, let me go down to the front and I'll show you. So the first one was from TrainFan28, and he really wanted to see the H-Class, that's the Hornby H-Class, double heading with another SECR locomotive. And to be honest with you, I've only got one other SECR locomotive, so there wasn't much of a choice on that. So what I've done is I've double headed the Hornby H-Class with the Hatton's SECR P-Class. I suppose technically they're both SECR locomotives, but only the H-Class is in the SER green livery. So they're double heading, and they're going to be pulling some Southern coaches. If you can see those, yeah, they should be in the shot there. So there are the Southern coaches. And another request today, well, it's kind of a request. It's basically a big thank you to my mod, who is Mark Horner. So thank you very much to Mark, who's been my moderator. I think most of you will have heard of him. Some of you might even loathe him and his power hungriness here on the chat. But without him, it would be a much more difficult place. He's making sure that you're all safe and nobody's swearing or using bad language. So thank you very much, Mark. And to say a big thank you to Mark, I'm running his favourite engine here, which is the Merchant Navy class, specifically Canadian Pacific in the BR Blue. Absolutely beautiful. And I've put her with some Pullman coaches because I think, well, I think they match her the nicest. I could put some slightly more boring BR coaches onto her, but to be honest with you, I just think they look the nicest. So very briefly, we'll have a quick running session with those two, and they are actually really, really lovely engines to be running. So I hope you like seeing these. Here goes Mark's Campac, as it's known as informally, going through the country station there, looking very, very beautiful. And we'll cross over now and watch the SECR locos. There they go, just going past the church there down towards the front of the layout. Beautiful models those are, and as you know, I don't pass up any excuse to run that new Hatton's P-Class because it's a beauty. We'll stick with this camera angle then because the old Merchant Navy's going by, and don't you think the BR Blue is just superb? Look at her go. Absolutely amazing. And where are the, there they are, there's the SECRs, looking absolutely fantastic. So that's pretty awesome. There they go. Shall we have one more lap? I think these deserve one more lap, don't they? They've got to. Let's wait for Canadian Pacific then to come by at the front. There she goes, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much to Nirate Goel, who's just sent me another super chat. He's asking to see the Coronation Scott in LMS livery with the 10 Bullman. Well, unfortunately, I can't run the 10 Bullman today because they don't all have Lomax yet. Only a few of them do. But sure, I can run the ones I've got. How about that? That's a good idea. So thank you for that, and I do appreciate the super chat regardless. Okay, let's go with the Mobius. Oh, I've got to wave, never forget that. And the two trains are actually pretty much running side by side now, which is pretty cool. Merchant Navy is just overtaking the H-class and the P-class. So let's head over to the church camera again and see if we can get them to go. Looks to me like the Merchant Navy's just overtaken, so you'll see her first. There she goes, and I'm going to head over to the front and I'm going to stop these engines. I won't stop them in shot because I don't want the big train to get covered up, because that's the next thing I'm going to do on the layout. And yes, I know I've got some more super chat requests to run, so if we get time today I'll get onto those. If I don't worry, I'll get onto those next week, but they will be done, well, if I have the power to do them. And if it's a loco I own and it's a loco that works, then I will do it. But if I get loads, obviously bear in mind, it might take me a while to get around to them, but I will do my very best to try. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a catch up then. Is that everything I wanted to talk about? Of course, 8-Bit Mega Blade was the guy who requested seeing all of the wagons I bought from the train fair running together on a big train, and that's the idea that I'm taking this week, but I'm supersizing it by adding pretty much, well, not all the wagons I own, but a good proportion of them, so hopefully that'll be fun. So how are you guys doing then? I will have a few minutes looking at the chat because it's going pretty crazy today. So again, thank you all for coming to watch. It really does, I do appreciate it. There were some people asking for shout outs, so if you want me to do those right now, I can do. Yep. We'll do that, and I've also got some frequently asked questions to talk about, so I thought I would answer those to save people asking them all the time. So a big question is, will I get a big boy? I must get asked this probably 5 times a week, maybe even daily. So probably not is the answer to that. I'd love to, but I don't know how well one would run on my rails. So trainee IVAT driver wants a shout out. Who else wants? Alexander Botha says out of sync. Is that true? Am I out of sync? Let me have a listen. It's a tiny bit out of sync, but to be honest, there's so many cameras and things going up here, I'll have to find a happy medium between them. So that's why it's a touch out of sync, but hopefully it's not too bad being that it's live. Supersonic Will wants a shout out. Speedline Railway Trains wants a shout out as well, so there you go. Jack Clark sent a super chat. He says, hey Sam, if it's Jack, if possible, a BR green unrebuilt West Country with box fans and other related rolling stock, if this is eligible for a request. Thank you so much, Jack. Yes, absolutely, I will be able to do that for you. Whether or not it'll be this week, I don't know, but I'll sure try and get round to that, so thanks for that. Luke Thomas says, shout out please. There you go, Luke. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Sparky107107 sent another Snapchat super chat for $10. Thank you very much. It's a little plug for his stream, so that's okay. You can feel free to plug if you want to send me a Snapchat, no problem. Ben VS Games says, shout out please. There you go. And if anyone's got some questions to ask, that will be fine. If you send me a question, I will shout you out as well. But there are a whole load of people. Jake Malone 05 Games, shout out please. Loads of people asking for shout outs. I do apologise that I can't give one to everybody, but I will have a few more sessions giving shout outs, so don't despair. Right, let me talk about some more of these frequently asked questions then, just in case there's something interesting for you. So some people always seem to ask this one, and it's what gauge are you running? So most of my trains, 95% of them are 00 gauge, but to the Americans out there, that isn't a lot different to HO gauge. So, and in fact, HO locomotives and rolling stock run just fine on 00 gauge track. 00 gauge locos, as far as I understand it, are slightly larger in scale, but they run on the same gauge track. So it's, I think 00 gauge is actually slightly off on the wheel set, but it runs fine on HO tracks. So that's why I can run 00 and HO locos on the channel. And I think that's, some people get confused by that, but they do run on the same track, interestingly enough. Where do you get the Thomas and Friends Bachmann models in the UK? That's one I get asked all the time. Basically, I get them from a variety of places. You don't tend to find them at train fairs and things, but I try to get them on Tootley Thomas, that's a good website, and also the Diesel Works. The Diesel Works don't seem to sell many anymore, but if they do in the future, they're quite good in terms of price. So that's the answer to that. Thank you again to Rob Humphreys. He says, hi Sam, please can you say hi to Oliver if possible and run a King class or a Black 5 for him? Yeah, sure, I'll do that at some point. I'll make a list of all these super chats later on and I'll try and get over to those. Another one, another question I got a lot this week is, did you get hit by the snow? And yes, the snow's been pretty terrible this week actually. Luckily I've not had to go out much in it. I have had to go down to the post office to take some parcels from my servicing business. But apart from that, it was just fine. I did get caught in a blizzard on the way back from the post office once, but luckily, you know, it was all okay. But yeah, very bad where we are now. It's been melting this past couple of days, so it's not as bad as it was. But yeah, some pretty serious snow. Jack Plays says, remember me? Yes, I remember you. Ben Plays 2004 says, will you get the Bachmann Paxton? Yep, if I can find one for a good price, I would love to try one of the Bachmann Paxtons. And Marty Party Hat, I still love that name, says, how many HSTs do you have? Do we include the 225 as an HST? I would. So 3 sets, I think, is the answer to that. 2 of the 125s and 1 225. I think that's right, if I've remembered that properly. LMS Fan 11 says the Diesel Works. Yeah, it's a website. Just Google the Diesel Works. Again, the last time I looked, they didn't have any Bachmann models for sale anymore. But that's where a good lot of mine came from. My Spencer came from there. My Gordon came from. No, not my Gordon. A few of them came from there. A lot of the diesels, Arian Burt, I think, came from there. You know, I can't remember, but a lot of them did. A lot of my Bachmann ones. Tom Price says, hey Sam, are you planning to visit the SVR anytime soon? The Spring Gala is coming up soon, and there is a King Class, Tornado and a B12 visiting. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Unfortunately, that's a little bit out of my way, but I would absolutely love to go one day. And certainly to see the King and the B12 or whatever else it was, that would be amazing. What a good set of locos to see. David's Trains, would you buy an APT? Yes, I'd love to. That's one I don't have yet. Certainly the old Hornby one seems to fetch quite a lot of money, and I haven't really, you know, gone crazy and looked for one yet. But certainly one day, if I see one for a good price, I certainly will get one. John Paul Ilari says, can I get a shout out? There you go. And Martin Gonzalez says, hey Dad, I didn't know I had a son, but if you are my son, hello. Okay, how do the controllers work? This is one that I get a lot. So you might be able to see the controller there. There's 2 of them there. I have 3 of those dials control the tracks, and the 4th controls the turntable. Basically, they all output to the track. They put electricity into the rails, and then the locomotives come along and they pick up electricity with their wheels, and that powers the motors that's inside them. So in a nutshell, that's how they work. How does your rating system work? We're talking about reviews, I think, and why isn't the total score an average? Well, basically, in a nutshell again, it works on a weighting system. So for example, I value detail more than I do slow speed performance, and they're all worth different amounts. So that's why you can't just add them all together and divide by 5. Yeah, that's the reason. It's based on a weighted system. I made a little program to calculate it, which is fun. And the final one is, are the Sam'sTrains t-shirts for sale? As you know, in some reviews I wear a Sam'sTrains t-shirt, and the truth is I looked into it. I wanted to offer them for sale, but it was going to cost you guys over £20 for a t-shirt. Now, I know some of you would pay that, and I really do appreciate it, but the thing is, in my reviews I'm always harping on about the price of models and how they're not worth the money they cost, and you know, all that stuff that I go on about. And to be honest, if I was selling shirts for £25 a piece, I just feel that would be hypocritical. You guys wouldn't be getting a good deal, and I would be ripping you off. And unlike some of the manufacturers, I'm not happy to do that. So I'm either going to just not do it, or not do it until I can find a way to produce good shirts, good quality shirts for a fair price. I won't rip you guys off, I just couldn't do that. So that's the reason the shirts aren't for sale. I'm sorry about that, and as I say, I know some of you would be willing to pay that, but I just don't have, you know, I couldn't do that with a clean conscience. So yeah, I will keep working on it, I'll keep looking into it. I looked into getting some Sam'sTrains mugs as well, but again, they were going to cost £15 and up, and even then I wouldn't be making much on them. So to be honest, it's just not good value for you people, and I don't want to be ripping anybody off. So that's the reason. Tom Price says Wall of Fame photos. Yes, I've got some Wall of Fame stuff to do today. David Balin, I think it's Balin or Balin, says, can I get a shout out? So there you go. RDHNL says, Sam, can you do Henry versus the Black 5? Yes, that's been a much requested one, so I'm going to do that at some point. And do you have an R195, says Aaron Denny. Which one's that? I can't remember that product code off the top of my head, but if it's a Triang loco, then probably I've got most of those. And Matthew Bentonio says, hello, can I have a shout out please because it's my birthday today? Yes, of course you can, and a very, very happy birthday. One more then, Edward Story says, can I get a shout out and can you run Tornado? I haven't run Tornado in ages actually, but I should do. That's a good idea, so I'll do that at some point. Okay. Couple more minutes what did I say then? A couple more minutes before I run the big train, or I try to run the big train. I don't know what's going to happen. You can see it back there. Is it going to derail? Probably. And to be honest with you, I wanted to make the train longer. But the problem is if it was much longer, it would be derailing every couple of feet. And I think if it got to that stage, it wouldn't be entertaining anymore. It would just be annoying for me and annoying for you guys. We want the thing to at least be able to run. So approximately 80 wagons is probably about the limits for that. Okay, let's have a look at some of the Wall of Fame photos then. Basically all this is people send in photos to my email address, which is down below in the description. They send me their photos, and if you want to send me one, feel free to. Just make sure you've taken it yourself, and it will go up on my Wall of Fame back there. And as you can see, there's loads of photos on there. So very quickly, before we try to run the big scary train, oh, I hope it doesn't derail, but I bet it will. I'll show you some of these. So here's Jack C, he's showing one of my favourite classes of locomotive. It's a Bullard Pacific. Absolutely love that. So thank you, Jack, for sending that one. We've got one here from Misha. This is a loco that I don't recognise, but I don't think it's a British one, but if anybody knows what that is, let me know. It's a beauty, don't get me wrong. Really, really lovely that. Anton H sent a loco that actually I do recognise. I think I've got a book with this loco in it, but I can't remember the name of the book and I can't remember the name of the loco, so I haven't done very well there. But I do recognise it, and it is very odd, isn't it? It seems to be maybe inspired by the Coronation class, or maybe the Coronation class was inspired by that, who knows. Jens T shows this. We've got two stuck together actually. I forgot to cut these in half. That's odd. So we've got Jens T and Kyle S, who have both sent beautiful photos. The one at the top I don't think I recognise. Whether that's British or not, I don't know, but I would guess it not. And then Kyle has sent a picture of his pannier tank. It looks like a Flying Scotsman and one of the Hornby pocket rockets there, looking very beautiful. So thank you both for those. Michael W sent this. This is very cool. I think is that a class 73 in the Pullman livery. Oh, I'm doing well if I guess that right. And he's riding that, so that must be one of the larger scale engines. That's very awesome. Thank you for sending that one. And William H standing next to what looks like a steam engine of some sort, a traction engine. Oh, is it? Looks like a steamroller actually. Anyway, very cool. What a beast that is. So thank you for sending that in, William. And the last one for the first part of the Wall of Fame is a photo that I love. It looks like some sort of narrow gauge railway from William and Ben. Looks like there's maybe a model Princess here along the side, and some lovely signals in the middle there. Looks like a beautiful railway. So if anybody recognises that, let me know which railway it is. I'd love to visit that. So thank you for those. That's around half of the Wall of Fame entries I have to show for today. I'm going to do the other half later on. But okay, let's do the inevitable then. Let's see if the big train is going to work. So for those of you who weren't here at the start, there's the front of the train. You've got a V-Trains Class 37 on the front there, getting ready to pull it. Just behind the Class 37, a little bit further down the line, we've got all those wagons. As you can see, there's some EWS ones, there's some grey ones there, some Hornby ones. You've got a second loco. There's the second loco, just near the passenger footbridge. Lots of branded wagons on this section of the train, and then if we come right back around here, you can see just near the bookcase on the other end we have the Class 25, the Bachmann one. So that is another one, and then the wagons keep going all the way down towards me. And thank you again to Nirate Goel, who sent another super chat for €2. He says, realised I forgot to say LMS Crimson in my request. Okay, I'll try and remember that. But okay. Man, what is going to happen here? I dread to think. So 3 locomotives pulling, well, including the locomotives, we've got 78 pieces on this train, which is easily the biggest I've ever done. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I'm fairly sure it's going to derail, but if you all cross your fingers, I hope it isn't going to. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, I'm going to have to keep it very nice and slow, because if I go fast, we're kind of doomed. So yeah, let's see what happens. Obviously, if something derails, I'm going to have to dash back over to the controller to stop the thing, but I'll try and give you some different angles of it moving if I can get away. So here we go. Starting to give it some power. This thing is very scary. Here we go. It's moving. Is it moving a little too fast? Possibly. I think that's a good speed. So let's see how long this will go then. I might have to shut up and stop talking for a second so that I can listen, because listening will tell you whether or not some of the wagons have come off. But yeah, as you can see, the thing is moving. Let's wait for that class 25 to come by. If anybody sees anything derail, let me know in the chat and I will go and stop it. But I think everything's all right. There's the third engine just there, going by the camera, and if we go all the way around, you might be able to see the front of the train approaching. Yep, there's the class 37. I'm just listening to see if anything's come off. I can't hear anything derailed just yet, so hopefully we're okay. Let's go back down to the front. Yep, there they go. The warship has just gone by, so you won't see that. Thank you to Lucad Hagman again for sending another super chat. Thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you. Let's go back to the church. There goes my ocean of ocean wagons, looking pretty crazy. Man, this is actually working. We've gotten around half the layout without a derailment. And yes, this this train actually does cover about half the layout. So yeah, it's easily the biggest I've ever done. And there goes the class 37 just there. Doing extremely well. Do you think we'll make one lap? Let me know if you think we will. I hope we do. That would be fantastic. Whether we will or not, I don't know, but we're coming up close, quite close to having done one lap. So let's set the camera to the bridge, and I tell you what, I'll leave the camera here, and we'll see if we can get the entire train to go past the camera for you. This is getting crazy. So what I'll do is, I'm going to tempt fate slightly. I'm going to speed things up. Only a fraction, mind. I'm certainly not going to have this thing racing round, because if everything derails, it's going to be a lot of cleanup. And I probably won't be able to use the railway again for the stream, which wouldn't be good, because I've got some other super chats to run. But I will speed it up just a bit, and we'll see if we can complete one lap. And in fact, the V-Trains class 37 is nearly back where it started, which means we have done a whole lap without this thing derailing. But I won't count my chickens just yet. There goes the warship, by the way. I've not really shown many shots of that, but it's a class 42, I think it is, or a 43, I always forget. But yes, it's a warship anyway, in a beautiful maroon. And of course, that one was chosen because it's all-wheel drive and it's very heavy. And in fact, all of these locos are. This class 25 that's going by now, that is also very heavy, and it's all-wheel drive, which is pretty much essential for a train of this size. So there it goes. People are saying faster. LMS Fan 11 is saying faster. I daren't go much faster than this. It's scaring me at this speed. But LMS Fan 11 says 20 miles an hour. Yeah, I reckon that must be around 20, mustn't it? And there it goes, with a brake van on the end, for safety's sake, of course. And there's the back of the train. Meanwhile, the front of the train is on the other side of the room. Whoa, we've got a derailment, folks. I'd better go and stop it. Oh, goodness. Right, that was quite nasty. Shall I see if I can get a shot of that? Bear with me a second. I think you might just be able to see the wagons that have come off from this shot, but if I just swap camera now, you might be able to see. Hang on. There we go. I suppose it could have been a lot worse, couldn't it? It could have been a lot worse. So what do you say? Shall I try and patch this up and we'll try and complete the lap? Yeah, we'll try. Oh, this is very nasty. You know, it's a good job this train is empty. I did actually start off by putting quite a lot more wagons on than this, some of them with stones inside. But I basically decided that that was a bit silly, because if the stone wagons start tipping over and spilling stones everywhere, that's going to be far too much to clean up. So, yeah, I didn't do that in the end. Right, for some reason I've got a gap now. There we go. Right, I think we're okay. Shall I try and start this again? Ouch, bang my head on the table. That's something that happens a lot in this room. Okay, very slowly then, let's try and speed this up. I guess I went a little bit too fast. That could be the problem. Are things moving? Yeah, looks like it's moving just about. Right, let's keep it steady then. And I'll put this camera back where it belongs. Maybe that's a little bit too slow. we could probably get away with going a little bit faster than that. Oh, hang on, got another wagon off. I tell you what, the first lap went without a problem, but this second lap isn't quite as good. Right, so if you can see here, there's this, I think it's the Red Arrows wagon that's come off. Okay, just fix that. Luckily it didn't tip over this time, so it hopefully won't take very long to fix. Is that better? I think that's better. You see, you're starting to realise now why I don't do these big long trains too often. But they are good fun, if slightly scary. Okay, let's carry on. Come on, no more derailments please, let that be the last one. Let's put the camera back where it was. And once the V-Trains Class 37 gets back up to that top corner of the screen, that means we've completed one lap. And everything sounds okay for the time being. Tempting fate again, are we? To be honest, this whole exercise is tempting fate massively, but it's good fun, so you know what, we'll do it. So there they go, here comes the Class 25 up towards the camera now, and if we go over down to the other side of the room, you can see maybe the Class 37 just about coming into the shot. Yep, there it goes. Pretty scary. I was 19. I was here when 19 was watching, said John Paul. Okay. Timsy Tanker said, late birthday present for Sam. Thank you very, very much for that, mate. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Right, we're almost there. I'm going to switch this camera back on and let's stop the Class 37 back in the corner of the screen where it basically started. So, was that 2 derailments? Where is she? Here she comes. Can you see her there? Just coming out from underneath my armpit. That's lovely, isn't it? There we go. 2 derailments. To be honest, I was expecting a lot worse, and we did get a whole lap without a derailment. So actually, I'm super impressed by that. So yeah, what did you think about that one then? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty... I've got a bit of adrenaline off that one, which is very sad, of course, but these things happen when you've got... I bet there's 5 kilograms of rolling stock going around there. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, there's rolling stock wherever you look, and because it's all from the same train, that's pretty ridiculous. Okay, so let's see how you guys are doing. What I'm going to do is go for a break in just a second. I'll talk to some of you people first, see what you've got to say, and after I've gone for a little break, I'll run some more super chats. Of course, one of my lines is pretty much unusable because it's got rolling stock all over it, but that means I've only got 2 lines to use for my super chats, but I'll do my best, and if it means we have to have another break later on, then that's what I'll do. Railroad says, hi Sam. James's Train Fun says, shout out to my son James Babs, please. Okay, there you go, there's James Babs. LMS fan says, table hit Sam. Well, I hit table, or banged my head on it, but to be honest, I don't make a fuss because it happens quite a lot, especially when you're on your hands and knees under the tables. You crack your head on them quite often, so I suppose that's fair enough. Burger Film says, shout out. Railroad says, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Hope you're okay as well, of course. Callum's Train says, what has been your favourite video to make? I always love the Christmas videos, the animations and everything. The April Fool's videos are my favourites. I'm not going to say any more about that, but the last April Fool's video was probably my favourite, actually. Thomas Train 9025 says, can I have a shout out? Of course you can, there it is. And Lavers454 says, Josh, so whatever that means, no problem. Jay Rodin says, shout out please. Mobster Bud, hello Sam, hello to you too. William Town says, you had to be really brave to do this. I don't think brave is quite the right word. I think maybe foolish is more like it. But it's good fun, isn't it? If a little bit scary. And of course, none of my rolling stock's really worth anything. It's only worth a couple of pounds a piece each. So it's not like I'll be destroying hundreds of pounds worth of rolling stock if some of the couplings, I suppose, pop out. But it is what it is. Map the Dragon says, shout out please. Preston Canty, shout out. There you go. Coolest Pro Ever with a load of numbers, I won't read all the numbers, says, can I have a shout out? And Lucad Hagman said, and sent another super chat, why do I keep saying Snapchat, that's annoying, to ask to run the E2, and I suppose you will have donated 5 by now, so yes, I can do that. Train Fanatic says, shout out please, and Keegan the Gamer says, can I have a shout out? So there you go, more shout outs on the way then. I'm just going to double check some of my super chats. and I'll write down the next two that I can do. So I'll scroll back down to the end of the list. Well, not the end of the list, but towards the start. Let's find out what people want. Blah, 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 blah. Lee Molson says, I used your reviews to buy 3 trains when he was snowed in. Well, which ones were those? That's pretty cool. Right. So Shining Time 4. Okay. A pilot passenger train. Oh, not sure what that is. Right. I'm not going to be able to do double. I'm not sure quite what he's asking there, but he wants to see, I think, the 7F and the 2P double heading, I assume. So I'll do that. 7F plus 2P with passengers. And that Shining Time 4. Yep, I can do that. That's no problem. 8-bit Mega Blade. Yep. Okay, yeah, he sent me another super chat for doing the big request, so that's okay, that's the big train. And Nyrate Goal, I think that's how you say his name, I'm not actually sure. Let me try and spell that. There we go, Goal. Wants to see the Coronation Scott, which I suppose he means just the Coronation class, with 10 Bullmen. Okay, so yeah, as I said, I don't have all 10 of the Bullmen yet. I do have 10 cows, but I don't have 10 Lomax to put them on yet. So I'll put on all the ones I can. TrainFan28 also sent a super chat, and Daniel Pulley put £5 to see a huge blue Pullman. Okay, that would be cool. If you want to send me a fiver to do that, I will sure do that. And once again, thank you to everyone who sent a super chat. I will go down the list and thank everybody individually at the end in case I've missed anybody. But for now then, I will go for a quick break just for 5 minutes to get those new requests on. I better include the fact that we need Bullmans. I knew someone would ask for that in the end. So I'll be back in just 5 minutes. Go and get yourself a drink or a cup of tea or whatever you want. Hell, get some biscuits as well. It's a cold day, so I think you deserve it. And I'll be back in 5 minutes, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And yeah, hopefully you'll all be still here when I get back. Otherwise, that would be quite embarrassing. Okay, hang on. Where's my back soon click? Oh, here we go. All right, see you in a few minutes. I'll be back very shortly. Cheers, everybody. I'm just kidding, by the way. I have got the microphone switched on. I just forgot to turn it on last week. Sorry about that. I probably gave everybody a heart attack. Okay, so I've gotten those sorted out. Thank you to everyone else, including Daniel Pulley. There's a few other people who sent super chats just while I was away. People have been going crazy this week. It was TrainFan28 sent another, and UFG2036 sent another saying, can you run James with some blood and custard coaches? So yes, at some point I absolutely will. I will do that for you. But anyway, welcome back. If you've only just joined, it's been a very eventful day so far. I ran the biggest train I've ever run on my layout, and you'll be able to look back on the recording and see that if you've only just joined. As you can see, that is a part of it just there. It's absolutely massive, and it did derail once or twice, but it wasn't too bad. I've also got a Bullman competition going, of course, if you want to win your very own Bullman. You can see, in fact, some of them over there. Some of them in the background there look absolutely ridiculous. I've been getting loads of super chats. I keep saying Snapchat, stop it. If you want to get in with a chance of winning your very own Bullman model with, of course, a certificate, then just send me a super chat at any point during this series, and in 3 weeks I'm going to be announcing a winner. And also, if you want some bargains, if you want some of these 40-foot containers, just click the eBay link in the description, and I've got some going cheap on there. I haven't checked the eBay link recently, so I don't know what the bid price is up to. But it's ending in about half an hour, so if you want a bargain, and again if you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do it, and thank you very much if you do. Okay, so I'm going to be running some more of the super chats, so let me show you then what we've got. So first of all, we've got the 7F and the 2P. I hope this is right. It says that this one is from Shining Time 4. I hope that's okay for you. And then Nyrate Goez, I think again I've said that right. We've got the Coronation Scott with my Bullman train. Now there are 10 Bullmans. I've got lots of the other cows, but I don't have lots of the Lomax yet, and it isn't really that important because I'm only going to be giving 1 or 2 of these away every year, so it's no rush to get the Lomax, but I am going to be keeping an eye out for them. But anyway, let's see how this works. I'm sorry it took me so long to get back, by the way. I just couldn't see my 2P. It was there on my shelf right in front of my face pretty much, But yeah, unfortunately I couldn't see it, and it took me probably 5 minutes to spot the thing. But I've spotted it anyway, so here they go with some Pullman coaches. I'm not too sure if that's what you wanted, but hopefully that'll be okay. And here we go then with the Coronation Scott, and oops, forwards please, Coronation Scott, and the Bullman train, which consists of just 5 Bullmans right away. And my big question to you, oops, hang on a second, bit of a problem cracking off here. 1 minute. Do you know what I've forgotten to do? Oh, you're all going to hate me for this. I forgot to take off the H class and the P class. So very quickly, I will just whip those off the track and pop those back where they belong. I just saw through the corner of my eye they started to move when I turned the controller on. So yeah, we don't want that. Not particularly. So let me just move the coaches out the way, and then we can get the Bullman train. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, so my big question to you is, can you tell which one is the real Bullman? Only the true Bullman fans will know. But see if you can figure it out. Leave me your guesses in the chat, and I will reveal which one is the real Bullman later on. So there you have it, the Bullman train. Let's have a few minutes watching these go then. Let's see if I can catch the 2P and the 7F running side by side. Well, double heading, it's not really side by side. Jamie says avoiding confusion and delay. Not quite, I'm not very good at avoiding confusion and delay. Shane Alvis says, can you run the Q1 and the 4F? That's a good idea. If you want to super chat that to me, I can do that. Ooh, better wave. Here goes the Bullman train just underneath me, well, behind the computer desk. It's quite a surreal sight, isn't it? And of course the backstory behind those is that they're all Bullman's brothers and sisters. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong... oh well, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong camera here. They're all Bullman's brothers and sisters anyway. He's got quite a lot of them. Only 2 of them have been named, and that's of course Bullman, who's called Bullman, and the other one who's called Bilius. But the others will get names in due course, but if you've got any funny names for them, let me know. I could always do with funny names beginning with B, as long as they're clean. There goes the 2P and the 7F, of course, and shout out to Callum again of SDJR7F88 speaking. And I forgot his username last week, which was a bit embarrassing, but I know old Callum, of course I wouldn't forget him. Anyway, I think we're about to get a meeting of the 2 trains, although I think it's going to happen off camera, unfortunately. But, oops, nope, wrong camera. Oh, you saw just the last Bullman go by there. So anyway, thank you very much for those requests. They were very cool. Let's get the 2P and the 7F go by once more. And as I say, I'm going to try and fit in as many more requests as I can today. But any that I don't fit in, I will do next week. So thank you all for your generosity. I'm sorry if I'm not as efficient as I ought to be, and I'm sorry I can't just do them all super quick. But next week is going to be just fine, because obviously I'll be able to use all 3 lines again next week. And so my big ridiculous train here isn't going to be in the way. So that means I'll be able to get through them a bit better. But today I'm going to have to just do them 2 at a time. But anyway, there we go. Here are the 2 trains. Let's bring them nicely to a stop. There we go. And if I've got time, I might do a couple more later on. But there we go. So thank you very, very much there to Shining Time 4 and, of course, Nyrate Goez. And again, if I've said your name wrong, I do apologise. Okay, let's figure out what we're doing next then. Okay, so... let's talk about some stuff that's coming out this year, and obviously I don't mean video games or anything like that, but models. There's a lot of exciting models that were announced in January, a couple of months ago. So let me know in the chat, which ones are you excited about? I'm excited about nearly all of them, but I'm just going to show a few that particularly got me excited. Some of them don't actually have proper photos yet of the model, but presumably they will in due course. But the first one that I'm super looking forward to is this one. This is the E1, and Bachmann are making this. As you can see, this is the NER version, and I think that's the one I've pre-ordered. I have pre-ordered this. It's a beautiful tank engine, really looking forward to that. Obviously, that isn't a photo of the model. Presumably, they haven't got a photo of the model yet, but, you know, that will be coming along, I think. That's not due to be released until the end of the year, so we've got a little bit of a while to wait on that one. Thank you for Armed Reptile. Armed Reptile, what a brilliant name. Who sent me a super chat, so thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you, and you are supporting the channel and keeping it going, so thank you for that. Anyway, the next model I'm really looking forward to is this, the H1. And yes, it's an Atlantic, which is one thing to be excited about because I've never had an Atlantic before. There was a C1 that Bachmann released, but that was it as far as I know. They haven't done any others. Up until this year, of course, when they are releasing this H1 in the beautiful umber and the very similar H2 in this BR black. And they're also doing it in Southern Green. And in fact, the Southern Green is the one that I've ordered. So I can't wait for that. They're supposed to be coming in the summer or thereabouts, so that will be fantastic. Thank you to Jamie, who sent a super chat, or he's called it a Snapchat just to try and trick me. Thanks for that. Could I get the S15 and the schools class double header, Southern coaches, or whatever would work best? Yes, I'll try and do that. It may not be next week, it may not be this week now, but I will get round to it as soon as I can. So thanks for that. Anyway, the next model I'm going to be looking forward to is this. This is the Hornby J36, and this is the one that I'm going to be pre-ordering. It's number 673, moored in this beautiful livery. I mean, look at the lining on there. That is going to be fantastic. And this particular one is going to have TTS sound as well. And that one's going to be coming out towards the end of the year. It might be as early as the summer, but it's looking like it might be a little bit later than that. But either way, it's a beautiful 060 tender engine. We all love those, so can't wait to see that thing. That's going to be fantastic. And finally, this is a model that Hornby have released before, possibly even in this livery too, but it's one that I certainly don't own. And it's this, the Merchant Navy in BR Blue. Never had a BR Blue Merchant Navy before. Well, I have, but not in unrebuilt condition. So this is going to be fantastic. It costs an ungodly amount of money. But I really hope it's going to be worth it. And I'm told that they are good models, so I'm going to be trying one this year. Whether it's good or not, I don't know yet. I'm sure it will be, and I can't wait for that thing. So anyway, that's a few of the models I'm looking forward to this year. There are others, of course, and I haven't decided whether or not I'm getting those yet. But those that I've just shown you, I pretty much certainly am. So as long as there aren't problems in the production, of course, we'll be looking at those this year. If there are problems, it might not be till next year, but who knows. So any of you guys looking forward to anything in particular? I know a lot of people are looking forward to that particular Southern 460, which is coming out later on. Let's see if anyone mentions that. Cameron Ingram says, are those Bullid? Yes, these were designed by Bullid anyway, Oliver Bullid. They're a little bit like the Battle of Britain, but I think they are earlier, slightly earlier. Maybe they're, yeah, I think they came before, I think, didn't they? I should know that really, shouldn't I? I think so anyway. Levente Radiv blah 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 says, hi Sam'sTrains. So hello, thank you very much for getting in touch. I'm looking forward to the H2, says Intercity 125125. Yeah, me too, that H2 looks fantastic. A beautiful Atlantic, very similar to the H1 of course, but I'm getting two different liveries, so I'm not just ordering two of the same logo, I hope anyway. Let's see what else people are looking forward to. Daniel Mirt says, could you name a bull Ballard? That's a good idea, yes, that's a very good one. Ballard as in mallard, but the bull version. Yep, that's a good one. Did you know of the limited offer of an 812 class for Rails of Sheffield? Yes, so I think that's Edward's basis, isn't it? Is it Edward? No, it's Donald and Douglas, isn't it? So Donald and Douglas, Donald and Douglas, their basis locomotive, which is the Caledonian 812 class, is being produced by Rails of Sheffield. Well, it's being produced by Bachmann, but Rails of Sheffield are releasing them. It's an exclusive to them. I don't know if that's going to be this year or not, and I haven't personally pre-ordered one yet because I want to know how much I've got to spend before I find out, because you never know with Bachmann. But yes, certainly if they are in the Caledonian blue, which I think at least one of them will be, that's going to be fantastic. So yes, very much excited about that. That's going to be fantastic. Okay, so let's look at some more of the Wall of Fame things then, and then what I'll do is I'll go for another break and I will set up a couple more requests which I've got to do. And if anyone wasn't here when I did the others, there is the Bullman train. Quite a ludicrous looking train actually, but yeah, that's some of the Bullmans. And of course, if you want to win one of those, I'm going to be giving one of them away at the end of this series. So to anyone who super chats at any point during these 5 episodes, you're going to be entered with a chance to win one, and of course you get your certificate as well, which I must have shown 10 times now, but I'm quite excited about it. I thought it was a funny idea, and you know, who wouldn't want to win their own Bullman? So anyway, we've got one of the buses. What's the bus called from Thomas and Friends, and is that him? But there he is. That's from Tyler. Looks like his layout, and I think I can see Thomas over there, so that's pretty cool. So thank you for that, Tyler, that's awesome. Philip J sent quite a lot of photos. Whoa, nearly dropping it. But he told me to choose whichever one I wanted to show, so I picked this particular one from the cab of a locomotive. Can't tell what locomotive this is now, but it looks beautiful. So thank you for that, Philip, that's a beauty. Lucas sent a picture of a model. Well, it looks to be a picture of his collection, but there's the Flying Scotsman in the foreground. Looks like there's a Thomas in the background as well, which looks cool. All kinds of stuff there. Looks like the great beginnings of a layout there, which should be awesome. So good luck with the rest of that. Nathaniel sent me this, which is beautiful. It's fantastic, in fact. A really, really nicely detailed layout with a beautifully weathered brake van and what looks like an 08 shunter in there. So very nice and beautifully lit as well. He's got a very realistic daylight effect. So I'll be very glad to have that go up on the wall. There's one from Jacob here, which again, funnily enough, has been beautifully lit. It's not a loco I really recognise. Looks again like an Atlantic, so that's funny, isn't it? Having just talked about them. Beautiful though, so thank you for that, Jacob. I love it. And Daniel sent me a picture. You can't see too well what it is, but it looks like a pannier tank facing a tornado maybe, and it looks like they're about to go head to head, so that's going to be exciting. So thank you, Daniel, for sending that. That's very awesome. And finally, Aaron R sent a photo of either a 37 or a, I don't know, would you think it's a 37 or a class 40? It's quite hard to tell. I can't see a running number, so I can't cheat. But anyway, a lovely photo that, and of course everything there is going to be going up on my wall of fame. And if you two have got something you want to that you want to see on the wall of fame, just email it to me, samstrains@outlook.com, and I will print it out and I'll show it during next week's show, and it'll go up on the wall. So that's going to be pretty interesting, hopefully. Okay. So let's do some more requests then. I've got time for 2 more today, so let me cross out the ones I've already done. Obviously, yes, I've got a lot, and I really do appreciate all of them, but I can't necessarily do them all justice if I rush, so I'll save some until next week, and at least that way I've got something to start next week's show with. So where did I get up to? So the last one was Nirate. Okay, there we go. So Jack Clark was the next one. Let me just get his name down. He wants to see the West Country with some boxes, with some box vans. So that's fine, I can do that, no problem at all. And let's see, Rob Humphreys, yes, he wanted to see a King Class or a Black 5. Right, which one could I do then? I could do a King Class, yeah, that's fine. So this is for Oliver, which probably is Rob's son maybe, I'm not too sure, he didn't say, but I will put that, well, I'll assume it's his son. So Rob Humphreys, Oliver, wants to see the King. So what I might do is put the King behind the Pullmans again, and that way it will be a bit quicker because I won't need to swap the boxes. So let's go for another quick break. I'm sorry to make you sit through another break, or would you rather not have a break? Shall we, would you want me to do it live? Yeah, alright then, we'll do it live, because you know, that music gets on my nerves and I don't have to listen to it. So let's go down to the front, and we will sort of cue some of this stuff up. So I know you're all going to be sick to death of looking at those Pullman coaches, but basically if I can leave them there, it's going to save us a little bit of time. So all I've got to do is put the 7F and the 2P out of the way, so I'll do that first of all, that should be fine. Let's do that right now. Let's grab the 2P, and obviously if I had the outer line free I might be able to park some of these in the sidings, but I don't have that luxury today, so I won't be able to do that. So let me move these out the way. There we go, and the 7F of course. There she goes. And let's move the Bullmans out the way. This one at the front is a real Bullman, because he's actually a bull for a change, so I'm thinking he might get a female name just to be in the spirit of getting everything wrong. And if anybody did have a guess at which one was the real Bullman, of course it was the one at the back, because he loves to be a banker. So there's the real Bullman, and he's the one that appears in every video still. So that one's mine, I'm not giving him away of course. So let me move these out the way, put those somewhere safe, because I don't want them to fall off and break the Bullman off. That would be not good. Once the Bullman is stuck onto the wagon, it has to stay on it, otherwise, I don't know, does he die? Is it part of his body? I'm not sure. Okay, so what do we need? So I'm going to get the King Class, I think, aren't I? I did promise the King Class, so let me find that. I think I'm going to put on my BR Blue King Class, because that one isn't DCC fitted, which means I can run it fine on DC. just blow some of the dust off it. I always do that. And then you don't see any dust on the loco when it's running. But yeah, I try to dust them as often as possible, but obviously in a matter of days really, they get a little bit on the dusty side. So it's better just to sort of clean them as you go, and then clean them once in a while anyway. So there's the King class. There we go. And what I'm going to do is grab a small selection of boxcars. Now obviously, because I'm in a bit of a rush, I'm not going to have time to set up a massive train of them. But what I will do, in fact, is move the camera down to here. And thank you very much for Sonic Crafter, #Speedcraft, who says, can you run Thomas from Backman? Yeah, sure, if you want to send me a fiver to do that, I will do. Probably will be next week now. Well, almost certainly it will be next week now. But thank you very much for that. I do appreciate your support. Right, here we go. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just popping down a few of these box vans. Shall we go with a couple more? Yep, a couple more. And of course I want to put these on the inside line because that's the only one that's free. So let's put these on. I've chosen the Smith's Crisp Snacks and Nuts ones to start with. And I've also pulled out a few of the pork wagons as well. So a little bit of variety, not much admittedly, but a little bit. Okay. So I don't know how many I'm putting on here, but obviously the West Country class will manage it fine. So what I'll do is I'll give these a shove and push them down to the front. Hopefully you'll be able to see me do that. That'll be interesting. This is something that happens a lot because I keep my rolling stock up there where I'm pointing. So the rolling stock normally gets put on here, and then I just give it a quick push and it gets sent down to the front of the room where I can put a loco onto it. So let's do that then. Let's grab the, I think, was it the West Country class he wanted to see? I think it'll have to be in BR Green. So it's going to have to be my BR Green one. What's the name of my BR Green one then? I'll have to try and dig her out and find her. Just bring these wagons into the front then. So there we go. And I'm being very naughty because there's no brake van. And I noticed that two of them came uncoupled there, which isn't good. Right, so where is she? There she is. And okay, yes, it's Camelford. So she's my BR Green one. Let's put her onto the track. Hopefully I won't drop her this time because I dropped something last week. Luckily it wasn't anything expensive, it was just a tender. But yeah, certainly don't want to be dropping things. Okay, so there she is. There's the Bullet Pacific. Let's get these two going then. Oops. The King class wasn't moving there, that was a bit worrying, but she's off now, luckily. And here we go then with the West Country class. Quite a little train on her, but it just means that you guys don't have to wait for me to put on a massive train, so hopefully that's okay. Now, what have I done with my sheet of paper? I always have a sheet of paper with me, just with some conversation topics on it, just in case I forget what to say or if my mind goes blank or anything, which does happen quite a bit. So here we go. Hopefully you'll be able to see the King class there just coming around the bend. Bless her. And where's old Camelford then? Oh, there she is, just in the background. Fantastic. So thank you very much to Jack Clark and Rob Humphreys and his let's call him his friend Oliver, just in case it's not his son. Thank you very much for that, and I hope you like seeing these. Just wait now for Camelford to come in. There we go, the West Country class. There she is, with the box vans, which have stayed coupled to her, which is a nice change. Let's go back down to the front. There goes the King. Let's see if I can get a few more shots of the King going by then, shall I? There we go. Looking very lovely with the Pullman coaches. Those Pullman coaches have had a lot of use this week, which is good to hear. There goes the West Country, looking fantastic. Again, I suppose I tend to run passenger coaches with those, so actually it's quite nice. Have we missed the King? Yeah, we must have missed the King. It's quite nice to see her with something other than just passenger coaches, so that's pretty cool. Okay, let's bring these back down to the front then. Let's have them go by one more time, just waiting on the King there. There she goes. Absolutely fantastic. Yes, a good call, I think. It's fantastic to run the King. So let's stop these and then we'll have another quick chat, and then I'll have to think about ending this one. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. That's another few requests. So I've done quite a few actually. That must be 6 requests I've done today. Let's just wait for old Camelford then. I'll speed her up. And hopefully it isn't too fast. Because I don't want her to race so fast that she derails all her rolling stock. But hopefully she'll be okay. Here she comes now. into shot any second now. There we go. Let's park her next to the king and those two can have a bit of a conversation or whatever. There we go. So again, thank you for those requests. I do love getting requests because it just means that I don't have to choose locomotives and rolling stock to run. And when I'm not choosing what to run, it means that you get such interesting ideas, double headers that I would never think to do, or just combinations of locos and rolling stock that I would never think of trying. So that's fantastic. I love it. Okay, let me see how you guys are doing then. Cameron Ingram says, please don't end it. I will try not to end it. One day I'll stream all day and until I lose my voice entirely. That would be interesting. The LMS Ginty says, Sam, I got here on time. Okay, good. At least you managed to catch me. Why don't you have Thomas try to pull it? Do you mean, sorry, Grover and the Big Bird's World? I think Thomas would faint if I tried to get him to pull. Do you mean the big train? Yes, I think if Thomas tried to pull all that, he would not survive, and I don't want to hurt my Thomas, of course. Mark Horner says that was a nice running session, so thank you, Mod Mark. Glad you enjoyed that. Cameron again says do more Scottish engines. Okay, I'll try that. Mr. Zorbus says hello. RDHNL says, Sam, what do you like more, Bachmann Thomas trains or Hornby Thomas trains? I always say the Bachmann ones are more accurate, but the Hornby ones run better. I don't know really what my favourite is. Mark Wilson says, my sister's a cow, please name one Charlotte. Okay, I don't think I could do that. Your poor sister. Oh dear, that's a good one though. Thanks for that. Tyro says, shout out please. My sister's a cow. Blimey, I hope she isn't watching. Video on point motors, please, says James Stewart. Well, I don't use point motors, so I might not be the person to make a video on that. Grover and Big Bird's World said, thank you for answering. No problem. Thank you for getting in touch. And Commander Azaxior says, I'm not going to ask for a shout out, but try to pronounce my channel name. Okay, so it's Commander Azaxior. Azaxia, is that it? Probably not. Hi Sam from Paynton, says James McCready. Hello, hope things are all okay down in Paynton. Did you get a lot of snow down there? We certainly did. The snow's been insane this week and it's been freezing cold too. Who do you like more, Thomas or Toby? Oh, I don't know. Model-wise, I think Toby, but obviously you've got to choose Thomas because he's the big wig in Sodor, isn't he? Shout out to Jordan Price. He'll hurt you. Okay, well, Jordan, I give you a shout out, so now please don't hurt me. And Intercity 125125 says, will there be a branch line? Not on my layout probably, because there's not a lot more space up here in the loft, but I'd love to build a branch line one day. And finally then, JV Train says, it's my birthday, so hopefully you will have a fantastic birthday, and thank you for spending some of it watching my stream. I still can't believe that people want to do that. Okay then, let's start to say our goodbyes, but first of all, before I do, I want to say what's coming up next week. So next week I'm going to be doing a much requested running session, and for the first time in a long time this running session is going to be all dedicated to one single class. So see if you can guess what class that's going to be, and all will be revealed on Wednesday. And then on Saturday I'm going to be doing another train pack unboxing, and I love unboxing train packs, so hopefully you'll join me for that one. That's coming out on Saturday night and it's quite an interesting one, so you might want to tune in for that. But for now then, I'm going to go through and thank all of my super chats, of which there are many today. So again, to everybody who even considered super chatting, let alone the ones that did, thank you so much for the support. You guys are the best, and by supporting me like this, it means that my channel can continue to exist, which is really important to me, obviously. And if you guys like it, you know, that means a lot. So thank you to everybody. Let me go through and thank everyone then. So Andrew Keeley was the first. I think he sent his before I even got started, so that's fantastic. Lucad Hagman, Ollie Turf 26, AJ Finley, Lee Molson, Harry's Life, Rob Humphreys, Charles Curtis, Shining Time 4, Nyrate Goel, of course, who I can't pronounce, and I do apologise if I said that wrong. 8-Bit Mega Blade, Jack Clark, Sparky 107 again, Rob Humphreys, Lucad Hagman again, Tim Z Tanker, Lucad Hagman again. Blimey, you sent a lot. Thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you. Daniel Pulley, TrainFan28, UFG 2036, Jamie, Armed Reptile, did I say Ahmed then? Armed Reptile, and Sonic Crafter, #Speedcraft. So thank you to all of you people. You're all fantastic people. Obviously, there are some requests that got received by me today, which I haven't done yet, and I'll open next week's show with that. But for now, folks, I think that is all. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it today, and I'll say some goodbyes in the chat so that you guys can go away feeling warm. Or I don't know what I'm on about now. Ollie V says, give me a shout out. So there you go, Ollie. Hopefully that's okay. Preston Canty says goodbye. So thanks, Preston. Hopefully you had a good time tonight. I certainly did. I just love doing these streams. My phone died. What did I miss? Says Tank Engine Central. Not a lot. I was thanking the super chats. I ran some more requests. I talked about what's coming up next week. You might not want to miss that, but you can go back and find out. Bye Sam, thanks for the continued videos, says Jamie. Trainboy75 says please shout out. There we go. Class 9 0002 says bye everyone. I think your name's Phil, isn't it? So thank you for watching. Paul Teaton says bye. In fact, everybody's saying bye, so thank you everyone. Jaden's Trains, Philip Page, Trainboy75, and again 8-Bit Mega Blade is saying bye. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you all had a good time tonight, and again, just thank you for all your support. The fact that you guys keep coming out and watching me do these streams, running my trains, it means a lot. So thank you all, I love you all, and I'll be back next week, of course. You're going to hear all that in my outro video anyway. But thank you for watching. As I said, I've said that quite a few times now. Hope you had a good time, and I will see you all next week. Alright, cheers everybody. Well, that's the end of today's live stream, so thanks to everyone for joining me, and I really hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you've got any ideas for future streams, I'd be very glad to hear them, so feel free to post them down below in the comments. Sam's Trains Live will be back next Sunday night at 5 PM UK time, so until then, look after yourselves, and I'll see you during the week with some more new videos. Cheers everybody.